Hello and welcome to a Talmud Israeli production. Today we'll review the highlights of this week's course of Daf Yomi study, Masechet Ketubot, pages 74 through 80. Ayin Dal, 74. Tanu Rabbanan. Halacha etzel chacham v'hitira mekudeshet. Let's say a woman was betrothed on condition that she doesn't have any vows outstanding on her. But at least she did. But subsequent to the betrothal, she went to a sage who then released her from those vows, annulling the force of those vows. Is the marriage valid? Mekudeshet. Yes, it is. Eitzel rofeh v'ripota in a mekudeshet. But if she got married on the condition that she had no physical blemishes, and it turned out she did, but she went to a doctor and healed herself of those physical problems, in a mekudeshet, the betrothal does not count. Invalid. Ma ben chacham l'rofeh. So why should we distinguish between the case of vows and the case of physical blemishes? Chacham oker taneder mikaro, because a chacham, a sage, totally uproots the vow from its very beginning. It's like it never happened. Whereas rofeno merapelim kan lahaba, a doctor can't erase the fact that you were once sick or once had blemishes. He can just heal you going forward, and you'll be in better condition tomorrow than you were yesterday. So, because of that nuanced distinction, we will say mekudeshet in the case of the vows that were overturned, but ena mekudeshet in the case of blemishes that were healed. 75. Ayin Hey. Hayu ba'mumin ve'oda b'beit. If she had blemishes and she's still in her father's house, meaning the kiddushin happened, but the nisuin has not yet happened, and the young girl is still living with her father, but it's now exposed the fact that she has physical blemishes. So the father must provide evidence that she developed these physical blemishes after the betrothal, and that the husband simply lost out, tough luck on him, in his field was inundated. However, if she already entered into the domain of the husband, then the husband must bring proof that her blemishes occurred before she was betrothed. And if he can do that, then it will turn out that the arrangement was a flawed arrangement, a bad acquisition that can be undone. Ayin Vav, 76. Here we have two competing or contradictory chazakot, halachic presumptions. Chazaka in adam sheteh b'kos elim ken bodko. There is a legal presumption that a man will not drink from a cup unless he first inspects it. Now, this is a euphemism for a man will not engage in intimacy with a woman in a matrimonial state unless he first inspected that he would find her appealing and not have physical blemishes that are to her to his dissatisfaction. However, we have a contrary chazaka, ein adam mitpayas b'mumin. A person will not become satisfied or reconcile himself with blemishes. So a person will inspect on the one hand, and maybe yes, maybe no. On the other hand, we say a person will not reconcile themselves with a mum. Ayin Zayin, 77. Maseh betzidon. There was an incident that happened in Sidon. Bebursi echad, with a tanner. Shemet. Vayelo ach bursi, and he died, and he also had a brother who was a tanner. Amru chacham yechola hi shetomar la'achecha iti yechola lekabel lechani yechola lekabel. So this woman, the widow of the brother who died, she is now a yavama, and the living brother is a yavam. The question is a marriage going to take place? The halacha is that a woman can reject a man because he's a bursi, he's a tanner, and he's physically repulsive because of the smell due to his professional work. Well, she accepted the first bursi, so why shouldn't she accept the second one? And here the Gemara is telling us, well, she could say, I was fine with your brother. Even though he smelled, even though he was a bursi, still I liked him. However, you, I can't deal with you. You're repugnant because of your professional status, and I'm not going to go for a yibum marriage with you. Ayin Chet, 78. Be'usha hitkinu, in the town of Usha in the Galilee, they made the following enactment. Ha'isha shemachra b'nichsei malog b'chaye bala, if a woman were to sell properties in the category of nichsei malog in the lifetime of her husband, v'meita, and then she died, ha'bal motzi mina lekochot, it is lawful for the husband to undo that sale and to extract the properties from the purchasers. because he has residual rights to those properties, and it was unfair that it was sold. He can undo that sale after his wife's demise. Ayin Tet, 79. Naflula kesapim. Let's say a woman has money that comes her way by inheritance in the course of marriage. Yilakach behem karka. She should buy real estate with that money. Vuochel perot, and he, the husband, can eat the fruits, the yield of that real estate. Perot atlushim karka. Let's say she inherited not money but detached produce. Yilakach behem karka. So use that item of value and buy real estate, fields. And again, the husband will eat the fruits, the yield of that karka, of that real estate. So regardless of the item that she inherits, will transform it into productive real estate, which will be beneficial to the husband. Pay 80. Hamotzi hotzaot al nichsei ishto. Let's say a man spends money fixing the real property that belongs to his wife. And in this case, the wife is a isha ktana, a minor wife, who was married to him because she was married off as an orphan girl by her mother or by her older brothers. So this is a rabbinically valid but biblically invalid marriage. If he spends money on that, then he's entitled to get compensated for those efforts, just like if he was helping somebody else's properties. My time. So why do we treat this marriage differently than a regular marriage, where the husband would not be reimbursed for the kinds of expenditures he put onto his wife's property? The rabbis did him a favor. They did something to his benefit, because they don't want him to lose out. He's worried that the woman who he's married to is going to do miyun, a rejection, that under Torah law she's entitled to walk away from this marriage because it was only rabbinically valid to begin with. If she were to walk away from it and we would not compensate him for his efforts in improving her real estate, then he would lose out terribly. And since he's nervous about losing out, he may not want to spend on her, thinking that that's going to happen. So to protect him financially, and thereby also to protect the union, this marriage, there is the reimbursement factor in this case. Everyone have a great week.